Hi all, I hope you're all keeping well. So this evening we're going to talk about karma and how karma affects us. So the other evening I was talking to you about if we come across people with negative energy or stress or anything like that, that can come back to us. So because we're all like sponges, every one of us, we're all like sponges because most of us, we like to help people. We all like to help people as best we possibly can. And but the problem is, if it's not really a problem, it's a habit we have. If we overinvest in people who are overdoing stress and things like that, like they dramatize it, we tend to pick it up and we carry it home. So the easiest way to explain is because I like to use different symbols. So the easiest way to explain is, say if I have a bag of rubbish and it's been in my house for a couple of weeks and it gets dirty and smelly, so you can imagine. Okay, so you don't want that. So imagine if I had that bag of rubbish and I gave it to you, you're taking it home with you, and this is what happens. Whereas if we over invest in people who are going through a very, very stressful situation without protecting ourselves, this is the whole thing. We have to protect ourselves at all times. And so the shielding, what I spoke to you about previously, is about protecting ourselves from that. It does protect us. So if we're around people, as I said, and we pick up a negative energy, we can pick it up from them, and it brings us down. We feel rubbish, literally. But if you say you're with somebody and it's like you're fed up listening to this over and over again, you can bring down that mirror and reflect the mirror to them. And so they're talking to themselves basically. So you're listening to them and you can give them a constructive advice and you'd virtually go away unstressed. It would be the better word for it. Okay. So now let's get onto karma. So if we don't like anybody, if somebody in particular we don't like, they really annoy us and we wished something would come back on them, don't wish anything back on them, because karma has recycle patterns. So if we're saying I want that person, I want him to suffer and so on, that you're putting it out to the universe. But what happens is it's like a frisbee. No, not a frisbee. A boomerang. It's like a boomerang. It comes back and hits us, and it hits us hard. So don't wish any badness on anybody. Wish them well. Okay? Wish them well. The best of luck to them. Good luck to you. I don't want to have anything to do with you type of carry on. Okay? That's the best thing to do. Because as I said, if you wish them negative thoughts, the boomerang effect comes back and hits us, but it happens threefold. It happens 3 times to us. So, and I have witnessed this. I have witnessed this on a number of occasions, so I do know what karma is like. Now, not to me personally. Well, it has happened to me once actually. And, no, sorry. It happened to me in a different way. So somebody did some wrong to me many years ago. They did wrong to me. I was annoyed about it. And I thought to myself, karma will come back and get them. And I believed it would. And then all of a sudden it did. It came back and it bit them threefold. Right? So 3 times as hard. And I was delighted about it. I was happy because it was some sort of justice. It was some sort of justice. So it didn't happen to me. I try not to talk bad about people. If people do upset me, yes, but we all get so upset. Every one of us, we all get upset with different people, with companies and so on. But we have to step away from that because that's not ours. That's not our negativity. That's theirs. That's their stuff. So we have to leave it with them. So you push it back to them and say, right, I'm done with that. I'm not having anything to do with that. I'm not investing in that. And you leave it be. You walk away, and then as I said to you before, you take up all that negative energy from you, put it into the basket and give it to spirit, and demand spirit to take it. That not yours. You don't have anything to do with it. And you move on with your life and you do work on yourself and you feel happy. Okay? Other people won't like you for being happy, but that's the normal case. And it's quite interesting when they're stressed, but that's to them, for them to work on themselves to be better than they are. But a lot of people it's like they are on a merry-go-round and they refuse to get better because it's like they get stuck on that loop, and they keep repeating over and over again that loop, and only they can learn from it. You can't tell them. You can explain to them, but you can't tell them because they're not listening. They have to witness it. They have to do it for themselves. Many times I've told people, you're on a merry-go-round, you need to get off it, because at this stage, as I say, the horse is withered away, the music has gone stale, and everything else, and only they can change. We can't suddenly click our fingers and say, hey presto, you have changed. It doesn't work that way. We've all put a lot of effort and a lot of work into bettering ourselves to where we are now. So continue to do that. So karma is not a good thing, to wish negative things on people or companies, because they always collapse by themselves in their own way. Sometimes we witness it, sometimes we don't. If we witness it, great, because it means we've seen it. But it does come back on them. It always does. Is there anything else now I want to talk about before? Yes, grounding yourself. So continue to ground ourselves. Spirit is always in charge. When I'm doing work with anybody, Spirit is always in charge. And so it was very important that I got the karma past. It was on my mind for the last day or two. And Spirit said, you have to talk about this. So, okay. So now they're mentioning grounding. So continue to ground ourselves, because we're going through a stressful time, believe it or not, Christmas. And I spoke about this the other day. So continue to ground yourselves and do the best you can. Don't try to be a superhero. If you have kids, it's very difficult. I understand that. But you do the best you can. Don't put yourself under too much stress. But if you continue to ground yourself, I'll run through it again deeply or quickly. Feet firmly on the ground, palms facing up on your knees as best you can. And even if they're sideways, that's okay, but you don't have to be like that. Just palms faced that way will do. And what you do is close your eyes and you breathe in deeply, and you hold for a couple of seconds, and then you release slowly. And as you're doing that, you're visualizing a beautiful bright light flowing through your mind, down through your shoulders like a waterfall of light. And then you breathe in deeply again, and you hold for a couple of seconds, and then you release slowly. And the deeper you breathe in, the better. Okay. So as you do that the second time, you feel that waterfall of light flow down further down through your legs and down through your knees. Okay. Then you breathing in again deeply, holding, and releasing slowly. And as you do that, the waterfall of light is flowing from your knees down through your ankles, your feet, flowing through your feet down through the center of the earth, wrapping around the rocks and the boulders and the old tree trunks. And your feet start to feel tighter and tighter. And that's grounding. Keep practicing that. Practice makes perfect. And if you can find time to meditate at some time, literally 10 minutes can do, switching off, going into that hidden world in ourselves, and we can find all sorts of amazing things, meet amazing people, and get messages and stuff. So if you have any problems with that, give me a shout, email me or message me. My email address is healingwithspirit67@gmail.com, or you can private message me. Another thing I want to talk about is, and I did mention it through the meditation video the other day, is we all have an inner switch. Now, what I mean is from this is so a lot of spiritual people, we have a tendency to click into Spirit, listen to Spirit. Okay. Now, that's great, but it's not so great if you're clicked on all the time. Because if you're switched on all the time, as in 24 hours a day, you will be dead to the world. You will be absolutely burnt out, exhausted. You won't know what it is. It's emotional. It's horrible. I know from experience, because many years ago, I got to enjoy the whole spiritual journey of being able to talk to Spirit and meditate and everything else. I was overindulged in everything. As one of my mentors said, I ate, slept, and everything was spirit. Every single thing was spirit. I stopped living a normal life, and that was my problem. And because I was connected on the whole time, switched on constantly, and I found I had no sleep. My sleep pattern was completely shot. So this has happened to a lot of people where their sleep pattern is completely crap. Excuse my language, but that's the basically blunt of it. They're not sleeping well, and it's because they're switched on. So you have to close your eyes, literally close your eyes, and look for a switch. Excuse me. Look for an old-fashioned Bakelite switch with the on-off signs on it, and make sure it's turned off. The switch has to be turned off, because while you're in the normal living world, you have to have it turned off. Because if it's not, if it's turned on, you're literally connected to spirit, and that's not a good thing. So it's like, the easiest way to explain is if you leave your phone plugged in to charge, it can overcharge and it can burn out. Same principle. So you have to unplug yourself. You have to switch yourself off. So make sure that switch is switched off, and only switch it on when you're going to do spiritual work or connect with spirit. Now, the more we become attuned to spirit, the more we get used to spirit, that switch will become automatic. It does turn on and off by itself. What can happen is we can turn it off. So in the beginning, as you're starting on your spiritual journey, it's off, but then you switch it on. And you say, oh, that was fun, I enjoyed that tonight. So you come back out of that. But then all of a sudden, a day or two later, you feel tired. And you say, okay, well, what's this? But if you go in and look at your switch, I guarantee you your switch is switched on. Because your subconscious has turned it back on, unawares to you. And it's because you've said, I enjoyed that, I'd love to do it again. So you automatically turning it on. So you have to make sure you turn it off all the time. I hope that's helped you this evening, and we will chat to you soon. And let's get ready for Christmas. Yay!